Hello there, it's Sean, and I am making this video to talk about my coaching program. It is called Complete, and it is a weekly live group mentorship program where I meet my students who are appointment setters, remote closers, business owners, and I coach them through all things remote high-ticket sales. So if you have been consuming my content and you are like, Sean, right now or down the road, I want to work with you, I want to learn from you, I want to get coached by you, but I need to understand what exactly it is that you do. What is your process? How do you take remote closers and appointment setters and help them find success in this space? Who are the people that you have helped and what are their stories? Okay, so this video is for you, and the first thing I want to talk about is the maze. Okay, what is the maze? When you first learn a skill, and there are a series of unknowns, and there's like a lot of them, right? It can get very overwhelming. At least that is what all of us experience. That is what I experienced in my first year. Stepping into this space, you got to learn how to brand yourself, you got to learn how to book calls, you got to learn how to close deals, you got to learn how to land interviews, you got to learn how to ace those interviews. There are a series of stages to cross. Of course, right now I can draw the red line and I can show you exactly what are those milestones, how to navigate past them, and how to conquer the learning curve. But 5 years ago, there weren't a lot of these options around. Like today, you see a lot of overnight course creators, a lot of coaches, a lot of people coming out to teach remote high-ticket sales, but 5 years ago, not so much. And the funny thing is, even though today there are more options, even though today there are more people teaching this, the same problems persist. And not only do the same problems persist, it's actually becoming more intense. I'm receiving an increasing amount of the same problems, and actually this happens every year, just that right now it's increasing. People are telling me that, Sean, I have invested tens of thousands of dollars, and in the back end it's all theory that I can't implement. And when I ask like exactly how do I do it, there's no guidance, there's no demonstration, there's no examples, and the advice is, oh, just join a bunch of groups, just DM a bunch of people. And why did I have to pay for that? And when I need help, they say, okay, now you buy the real thing. Now if you really want success, you buy the real thing. And what is that? Guaranteed placement. Then all your objections disappear. You top up another 5-10K to buy the guaranteed placement. And then I've heard stories, and I'm not saying all of them are like that, but I've heard cases where when people pay for these guarantees and then now they want to claim the guarantees, they say the company ghosts them. The companies don't reply. So now there's no way they can get what they've paid for, and they're like, why did I even sign up for this? Why did I have to pay for this? Now you don't have to pay for that, because I'm going to teach you. My goal is to teach you how to be self-sufficient. And I know when you do get, because I'm not saying all of them are like that, it's just that some of them are like that. And then when you do get throughs, there are companies that say, or we only want people in this time zone, or we only want people who are experienced closers. So if you haven't done a full live sales call from front to back to front, if you haven't at least closed one sale live on a sales call, then again, it is very difficult for you to overcome those objections, and then we go back to waiting inside the maze. So what you're seeing here, I know is one circle, okay, but it's not just one circle. If you don't know how to overcome these obstacles, if you don't see through the learning curve for what it is, if you don't see the red line, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen is this becomes a loop, and then it keeps repeating itself, and the mistakes keep happening, and the lessons keep intensifying, and you keep running into the same brick wall again and again and again until you get tired, jaded, faded, and you quit. And I've seen closers that really get stuck here, and their solution is buy the next thing, buy the next thing, buy the next thing, and 5 years later they're still in the same spot. You know what I mean? So this happens because we become one-dimensional. What is that one dimension? That one dimension is just that course. All we have is that course that we've bought. It's just that certificate that we have, which companies, they don't look at your certificate. They want more calls booked, they want more sales closed. They're not going to look at your cert and say, wow, it's so amazing. But if that's all you have, that's the only one dimension that you have. And this is coming from the SSS method that I teach. The SSS method, I talk about your self-image, I talk about your strategy, I talk about your skills. Okay, all these things, what do you think is the root of it? It's the alignment, right? You want to find success in a space, in a sport, in a martial art, in a business. You got to have total alignment. And that obviously all stems from your self-image. Deep down, okay, that your skills and your brand and strategy aside, deep down, are you aligned for this? That's my question. And it is a choice. It's not something that happens to you. It's not something that's already pre-built. It's something that you can choose. Like when I first got into this space, I wasn't really ready. Deep down, there were a lot of beliefs that I needed to check, I needed to re-examine, and I needed to work through them. Okay, this is as close, okay, remote sales is as close as entrepreneurship. If not, it is entrepreneurship. Actually, it is building your own thing. You're selling yourself, you're selling your own services, you're like a freelancer. And ask anyone who has been through this journey, okay, they'll tell you that entrepreneurship is going to bring out the very best in you, and it's also going to bring out the very worst in you. So if there are beliefs that serve you, that is the reason why you'll succeed, it's going to come out. If there are beliefs that no longer serve you, and it's been the reason why you came into this space to learn these lessons, to evolve, it's all going to come out. And if we don't address them, we're going to get stuck, because some way, somehow, these beliefs are going to find a way to manifest that excuse. It's going to find a way to manifest that emergency. It's going to find a way to manifest that crisis. It's going to find a way to manifest things not happening and keep us stuck. Whatever the strategy is, now it becomes do the list so that my paradigm can maintain itself. And all I have my online course. This is the one-dimensional closer. And when we as one-dimensional closers, we join teams, or maybe this is a team that we get placed in. Okay? I'm not saying all companies are like that, but when this happens, you got to recognize it. But these are the one-dimensional companies, okay? That what are they doing? They're running ads. Okay? And what's happening is that these ads are going out, okay? And the prospect sees the ad for the first time, and they might see a VSL, they might see a webinar, they might see a sales page, and they book a call, right? So you are the closer on that call. And before this, you have one call. Immediately after this, you have another call. So you have roughly about 45 minutes to do this call and get the sale. And this is the first time that you've met this prospect, and it's the first time that they've seen your stuff. We don't know how educated they are, we don't know how nurtured they are, we don't know how sold they are. And out of 100 people that book the call, sure, 1, 3, 5 or 10 of them might be ready and they close and they pay in full, and that's great, and you get paid. What about the other 95%? And I'm just making numbers up, but this is based on the experiences that I've had. Roughly about 5 to 10% are ready to buy now. And what happens to the other 90% or 95% that don't convert? So when it's not working as well as they want it to, because, I mean, think about it this way. If you are the prospect, would you book a call right now, and in 40-45 minutes, the first time you've seen this company, the first time you've seen this person, and then you put down 5, 7, 10, 12, 15K paid in full, the first time you meet this person on a 45-minute call, would you do that? And now you're expecting the people that see your ads to do that immediately. So when the companies realize, like, hey, something is wrong, but they don't understand why, so they try and fix it, right? So they tell you, hey, closer, welcome on board to our team, but I need you to wait. I need you to be patient. Okay, how many of you have heard that? I need you to wait. I need you to be patient. Why? Because something is wrong with our funnel, and we don't know why, and we need to fix it. And we're going to relaunch our ads next week. Next week, we're going to redo our offer. Next week, we're going to redo our landing page. Next week, we're going to go on vacation. Next week, next week, next week, next week. And this is the opportunity that you got placed in, or this is the opportunity that you just joined. And what happens? You're going to understand that as a closer, you don't have a base salary. You're performance-based. So the whole time you're waiting, it's for what? And the solution is to start as a setter. Then you go through the same thing as a setter, and you run into the same problem. What's the solution? You start as a VA. And start as a VA, doesn't work, what happens? Start in the 9 to 5, and now you're back to waiting all over again. And this only happens because as a closer, why did we even come into remote sales in the first place? It's because of the income ceiling, right? And the ability to control our schedule and life, right? Because we don't want to work so hard for someone else, travel, commute to work, rush hour, travel for 3 hours, burn out working for someone else, and the pay remains the same, and then we burn out, and then rush hour back, travel for another 3 hours, all that time is gone. We don't have personal time, we don't have time for ourselves or our families. So why do we come into remote sales and then we have to wait? And for some of us that get through, we land interviews. We land interviews, and the business owners are like, do you have experience? And then now we don't know what to do. Or you have experience and you get in, and there are insufficient calls. Or you can close, but it's not happening as consistent, the quality of the leads aren't as high, the consistency isn't as strong. Or we can close, but we can't cross the 3K milestone. Or we can cross the 3K milestone, but we can't cross the 10K milestone. And all that reasons why this isn't happening for us is because we are one-dimensional. Why are we one-dimensional? And I want to be clear that the reason I'm able to explain all of these things is because I'm not one of those overnight course creators. Okay, everything that I've just shared, everything that I've just described, I can do these slides and I can talk to you about them. It's because I have experienced all of this myself. I've experienced every single one of these obstacles and blockages myself, and I had to coach and guide myself through and figure this out the hard way, on the ground working as a setter, on the ground working as a closer, and create solutions for these problems. And these solutions became the genesis of what I call the complete closer method. Okay, it's just the name of my process. So back to the SSS method, self-image, strategy, and skills. Now, okay, you've heard what I said, right? That I took the ownership, 100% ownership, to say, I'm here. Why am I stuck? I'm here. Why am I stuck? I'm here. Why am I stuck? And in the past, okay, it used to be, well, it's your leads. It's your funnel. It's your setup. It's you. The self-image that you need to have when you're building your own thing is you need to say, it's me. It's all me. My income ceiling. That's my responsibility. To get business owners to reply, well, I'm a salesperson. I should be able to book my own calls. I should be able to prospect. I should be able to find opportunities. Not enough calls. I should be able to be self-sufficient. Why am I not performing consistently on calls? I should find out the reasons. Just like a doctor. Okay? Does a doctor need guaranteed patients? Does a lawyer need guaranteed clients? So how is it that I'm a salesperson? I need guaranteed opportunities. I need guaranteed calls. I need guaranteed sale. No, it can't be that way, right? It's my responsibility. So now the strategy changes from, oh, the teams are bad, the teams are not good enough, to say, okay, I can accept if my first team is not as established because I'm not fully established yet. I can accept if my second team is not as good yet because I'm still improving. Because I'm going to go through my first team, my second team, my third team, and I'm going to use it to build up my experience points. So now I can brand. Now I can set. Now I can close. And that's my skills. So again, this is proper alignment. right? This is proper alignment. So we have to go from here, a one-dimensional closer paradigm, to here, to say, now I'm ready. Now this is the best version of me that I've come to build. This journey, as close as it gets to entrepreneurship, it brings out the best in me, it brings out the worst in me, and I'm here to build that. I'm here to build myself. I'm not here, for 6 weeks, get a certification, and then that's all I have to show. And then I go around pitching people. Hey, hire me. No. I know how to brand myself. I know how to book opportunities. I know how to book sales calls. I know how to book interviews. I know how to close consistently in my authentic voice in a way that serves people. So now when I met with this model, how a complete closer sees it is completely different. Okay? Me as a complete closer, how I see it is, you are a prospect, right? You are a potential client, right? You are someone that I can potentially do business with. You are someone I can potentially solve a very important problem for. You are someone I can create results with together. Where are you? That's what I'm thinking. How can I find you? Where are you? What are you doing? Okay? That prospect or that ideal client, okay, is in their buyer's journey. And you have this is your seller's process. So it is a mutual journey where both paths merge. And you got to see it from their point of view as well. Because the first time a buyer becomes a prospect, where are they? Right? Your marketing has just hit them. Your content has just appeared in their radar. Your material is just appearing in their life. This is where the marketing hits them, and it takes them through a journey of becoming problem aware. Aware that I have a problem that I must fix. Aware of your unique and signature process. Aware of the solutions and offers you provide. This is the start of the marketing, right? This is the start of the buyer's journey, yes? From here, all the way to the sales call, all the way to the close, all the way to them becoming a client. In between, what's happening? Is there someone attending to them? Like when I close for other people, when I sell for other people, there are all these leads all over the place. There are all these leads and prospects everywhere. Who is attending to them? How much opportunity is there? Remember I talked about the 95% who didn't book through is somewhere in the funnel, somewhere where they're right here. But who is going to engage them? Who is going to put them together in a streamlined process so that all of these leads move through the pipeline efficiently and effectively? Then when they do get on the call, is the call being optimized in a way where the prospect will show up for the call? They will show up for the call. It will not be a no-show. And when they show up, they understand your process already. They're at least 50% there. They're at least 50% so on, okay, I'm booking this call because I obviously have a problem and I kind of know what your process is and I want to know what the solution is. So it's optimizing every path of the buyer's journey, meeting the seller's process, and at the end it could be 1 call, 2 call. I know companies who do 3 calls, but at the end of the day, you as a closer, you come in and all these boxes are checked. So it's a complete journey. The buyer feels very supported all the way from the time they see your content to getting to know you, like you, trust you, consume your content, understand your process, being so on they have a problem. So when they get on the call in that 45 minutes, yes, you can get a decision down. You can get money down. You can get your paid in full. You can get your commissions because the whole journey has been properly completed. And that makes you a complete closer. You've sold them on their pain, you've sold them on your process, you've sold them on your offer, and you can complete this whole journey from the moment a lead becomes a lead all the way to becoming a client. You understand all these boxes to check. So it will not be a case where, wait, we need to change our logo. Wait, we need to hire a new code. Wait, we don't even know what to fix, so you just wait. You don't have to wait. Because you can brand, you can prospect, you can close. And if you don't have an offer, if you don't currently have an offer, it is the same process, because if you don't have an offer, you become the offer. Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't have an offer, you are the offer. You're selling your services, you're selling your ability to book calls, you're selling your ability to bring in high ticket sales. You are selling you. It is the same game. It is the same game. Booking a sales call becomes landing that interview. Closing that call becomes closing and acing that interview. The whole time you're doing the same thing. Marketing yourself, selling the value of meeting you online, and then closing them on you. So if you don't have an offer, you are selling yourself to the company. And once you're in the company, you're selling to the prospects of that company what the company has to offer. Clear? So instead of a one-dimensional closer where I'm underneath an income ceiling, business owners not replying me, I got not enough calls, I can't close consistently, I can't cross the 3K, 10K milestone. As a complete closer, the first thing that you cross, your paradigm, your self-belief, your confidence. That is the first milestone that all of us need to cross. It's us conquering us. Hey, you want to build you're here to build a 6-figure career, right? So how can you have a 3-figure discipline? I watch 6 seasons of Netflix. I go out, I socialize all day. I play. And do you study? Do you sit down and study my work? I've already documented all the what, the why, the how, the when, the where. It's all there. You search for it, you pull it out, it's all streamlined, it's all organized. You just need to sit down and study and then practice and internalize it. Time to study, you study. Time to book calls, you book calls. Time to prospect, you prospect. Time to land interviews, you go land interviews. Time to close, you close. Wake up on time, you sleep on time. Then you deserve your 6-figure career. Otherwise, who's going to build it for you? And the people that can't build this, you know why? Because they're looking for shortcuts. Okay, I'm not going to paint you some dream and say, oh, in 6 weeks, you're going to make 6 figures, you're going to get certified. There's no certification, because you are the certification. And if people you notice that people that keep finding these shortcuts, what happens eventually? They get crushed by the shortcuts, because not only are they not going to actually understand how this works, they don't get good enough to make this work, but the gurus will come along and say, oh, okay, so you really hate doing this? Okay, buy this. And you really don't want to do this? Okay, you buy this guaranteed. And you still don't want to do this? Okay, you buy this. And you still don't want to do this? Okay, you buy this. So you buy. And then you can't do. And I know people, okay, and this might sound funny to you, but I know people for years and years and years. Some of them we even started at the same time, 5 years ago. They cannot do. And they buy. And then 5 years later, they're still buying. And then they're still asking me, Sean, should I role play? Sean, should I send that video out? The only reason they need to keep buying guarantees is because they never understood these principles. How to own that discipline. How to own my unique brand. How to own the ability to do strategic setting, which is to book calls. How to become a strategic closer and close consistently regardless of the context that I'm in. How to cross my 3K milestone, because crossing this milestone tells me that all these 4 pillars are down. How to cross that 10K milestone, because now I know how to optimize what is already working. When you don't understand this, then you need to depend on the guarantee. But can they can sell you the guarantee, but can they guarantee that you internalize it? Because the only way to really guarantee something is if you understand it. That's why I want to learn all these things, so that I can cook my own food, if you know what I mean. Because when you understand it, you can cook your own food. Then you don't need to depend on superficial guarantees. And we don't even know how that's going to work. So who is the real guarantee? Ultimately, when you're on the calls yourself, when you're on the interviews yourself, when you're in the sales team yourself, when you're under the pressure of KPIs yourself, when the interviewer is testing you, when the prospects are challenging you, and you are on the ground in the field on your own, who can guarantee you? There's only one person that can guarantee, and that's you. So you have to understand it. You have to cook your own food. You have to become complete. So the core 4 pillars, okay, your paradigm, your brand, your ability to book calls, your ability to close consistently, strategically, these 4 pillars are a must. And that's what I teach in my coaching program. I call it your closer confidence or your 6-figure discipline, same thing. Okay, your unique closer brand, strategic setting, and strategic closing. You need all 4. You cannot be the guy that says, why must I brand myself? Why must I send that video? Why must I learn how to book calls? Why must I learn all these things? Okay, you have to take that ownership and master these 4 pillars. Then you can become the complete closer, because once you reach here, once you cross all these milestones, you know what is that? That is real freedom. Because now anything you want to sell, whether it's your own thing down the road, whether it's your own thing right now, whether it's selling for others, whether it's selling yourself, you can always fulfill all these things. And every business, any person who wants to make it in the online business world, you need to have all these things. You take any one of these pieces out, now you're back to depending, waiting. Okay, that's not the way to go. Okay, if you have the mindset and you have a great brand, okay, but you don't have the substance, you know what you are? You have hot air. If you have the mindset, you have the skills, but you don't have a brand, then nobody's gonna know how good you are. If you have the brand, you have the skills, okay, but you don't have the right mindset, your mind is not in the right place, the alignment is not there, you know what happens? Self-sabotage. So you cannot have 2 of the 3. Okay, you need all 3. This is the SSS method that I talk about. Your self-image, your strategy, and your skills. All 3. This is how you know that in the short term, in the long term, I can go the distance, I can build this from the ground up, I can succeed. While other people find shortcuts, while other people buy into guarantees, you know that you are that one person who can do that silent work behind the scenes. You have that thing, what I call silent power, and you're secure with your skills because you know that I've already completed the curve. And I don't want to sell you some dream that in 6 weeks, okay, you're going to get to 6 figures. In 6 weeks, you're going to get certified and everything will be solved. No, that's a lie. Okay, your certification doesn't prove anything. What I will show you, however, is a roadmap of a series of practical, actionable, repeatable steps that you can use to cross from one box to the next. For example, your self-image. I've seen people who were really stuck. You know, they couldn't help themselves. They just keep falling back to their old paradigm. And it got to a point where they say, okay, I must change. And I can change. And I believe that you can change. I believe that people can change because I changed. I was from that place in my old life and I told myself that, okay, this cannot happen anymore. I need to wake up. I need to focus. And eventually I moved all the way to say, I can do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to study. I'm going to train. And eventually, bit by bit, I took full ownership of every aspect of my life. How's that for self-image? Strategy-wise, I've seen people that say, well, what? I just need to do the bare minimum, right? I'm a salesperson. I just need to send my resume, right? Why do I need to do up my brand? Why do I need to separate myself? Why do I need to book calls? I'm just in sales. A very, very passive strategy. Then, after they realize that, okay, it's not getting me anywhere, they say, okay, you know what? Failing is okay. I can fail forwards, and there's no failing, there's only results. So I'm going to join teams, I'm going to learn from the ground up, I'm going to go through my first team, my second team, my third team. They go through the influencer cycle, and towards the end of their time with me, they got so good at doing what they do that they achieve influencer attraction. Okay, some of them, the influencers come inbound to ask them to close for them. Some of them, they want to quit the team, and the influencers are doing all they can to stop my students from leaving, because that's how precious and valuable they have become. And skills-wise, I've seen people that are like, okay, I just need a course and I'm good. And then they realize that they're not applying the course. They realize that they're not applying the course. So once they apply, they say, okay, I got to get the experience points. I'm going to make it mine. I got to make it into my brand. Then eventually they can brand, they can book calls, they can close. And you know what? A lot of them reach the point where they can do this even better than some of the people that teach this. Because they're coming from completely different places. So my point is, there is a solution to get out of whatever box you're in. It has been done, it can be done, and you can do it as well. Okay, so whatever the financial milestone that you want to hit, it's not going to fall from the sky. It's not going to come from a certification. It's not going to come from a guarantee. It's going to come from you moving through these milestones, conquering these boxes, conquering yourself, and owning that success. Okay? So Complete is a 4-month program. First, we will do a one-to-one VIP laser coaching call. I'll sit down with you, talk to you about all your beliefs, your goal, and map out a 6 to 12 month strategy where we'll pinpoint exactly what are the things that we will build together, so you'll know exactly what are the steps to do this. Okay, we're going to build your foundations together, and it need not happen in this sequence. It is a 4-month process, but most of it will be built concurrently. We are going to build on the SSS method that I talk about, your self-image, your strategy and your brand, and your setting and closing skills. Then we're going to put you through a series of teams. Okay, I'm not going to guarantee you any placement. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to become self-sufficient and self-source. Because hey, as a closer, you should be able to sell yourself. You don't tell me you're a closer, you cannot close yourself. Okay, then something is wrong. Okay, you should be self-sufficient. You should be confident that anytime I want, I can always fall back on this skill to get an opportunity, to set for someone, to close for someone, to set for myself, to sell my own stuff. Okay, and go through that cycle and build experience points, then put that experience points back into your paradigm, put it back into your brand, put it back into refining your skills more and more, so you become more and more complete. And during these 4 months, okay, here's exactly what's inside the program. Okay, so the personalized strategy, I've already covered. Okay, that one-on-one VIP laser coaching call, the kickoff call. Okay, for 4 months, you have direct Telegram access to me. Do you know what does that mean? It means that anytime you have a question, you text me. Anytime you need help, voice message. Anytime you need a piece of resource, a demonstration, how to navigate through, I am right there. It's not someone else. It's me, and I reply, I'm present, and I'm not going to tell you join a bunch of groups, DM a bunch of people. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to show you how it's done, and then you're going to do it, and then you're going to teach me. Because if you can teach me, it tells me that you understand. And like I said earlier, when you understand, you become the guarantee. So that is what this back and forth mentorship is for. Okay, a lot of times the things I teach you once is not going to be enough. Okay, you have to go back and forth with me until it becomes organically part of you, your subconscious, your conscious, so you own the thing. That's what the mentorship is for. It's for me to train you. Okay, and for 4 months, we're going to meet once a week, okay, where you bring all your questions, all the work you've done, all the assets that you have built, all the conversations that you've had, all the calls you've booked, all the role plays you've done, all the interviews you've done, all the sales calls you have done, if you can do a piece of work, I will review it. That's my promise to you. If you can do a piece of work, I will review that piece of work. That's my promise to you. I'll review it so you know what you've done right, what you've not done so well, what you can improve, and how you're going to keep building yourself up. Okay? Otherwise, you can just do it yourself. Right? And everything that I've ever created, every program, every workshop, every launch, you have lifetime access to all my digital programs. And the core program, the core Complete Closer program, which will be given to you, your members area on the back end, you need to study that. So that when you come to the weekly calls, you can bring your questions and your work for review. That's how this works. Okay, and you have lifetime access as an alumni, okay, to our Telegram community. In there you'll find fellow closers. You can role play with them, you can practice with them, you can bounce ideas off with them, you can support each other, you can hold each other accountable and support each other on this journey. So it is a complete program designed to move you out of the maze into your full ownership of this brand new alignment that you can confidently and securely say, I know who I am now, I'm a complete closer. And with this paradigm, with these strategies, with these skills, I'm going to be self-sufficient for the rest of my life. I'm going to teach you how to brand yourself. I'm going to teach you how to be self-sufficient and book calls, book interviews, self-sourced. Okay, self-sourced by you. And how to close strategically. And what it means is the principles, the tactics, and the demonstrations will all be given to you. You won't feel like I'm just good with words. You won't feel like I'm just playing with tonality. You won't feel like I'm just a superficial bag of techniques. You will become a strategic thinker. You will become a strategic closer. So whatever the scenario you're in, whatever the challenge you're in, you're able to sit back, enter the silence, and say, okay, what's my strategy to navigate out of this? What's my solution that I'm going to create to solve these problems? Combined, what does that make you? It makes you complete. This is Wesker. Before this, he worked very long as a setter until he was like, okay, I'm done being a setter. I need to learn how to close. I want to learn how to close. So after we worked together, these are his results. Consistent 3K months, USD. Okay? Might not be a lot of money to some people, but for him, he makes this money, he pays his bills, the rest of the time is his. He's his own man, he's happy, and this is just the beginning for him. Once he crossed this milestone, the rest of it is just more optimization, okay, and doing more of what already works. This is Broderick. In his first month, he collected $7,700. He's a smart guy, okay, he studied hard, okay, he just need a little bit of help with the mindset area. Okay, once I coach him through that, okay, he got that alignment, he found the right team, get on calls, close. That's it. This is Daniel Zhong. Okay, in the beginning, he himself didn't believe in himself. That was his biggest problem in the beginning. He know he can learn. He know he can learn the how. Okay, he know I can teach him the how. He just didn't believe in himself. And going through this curve, when you don't believe in yourself, it's because you haven't experienced a progressive set of wins. Small wins, small milestones, right? I joined my first team. I land my first interview. I land my first opportunity. I closed my first sale. I closed my first 25K sale. 25K. In the beginning, he don't even believe himself. But because he crossed that series of milestones more and more, it built that belief for him that, yeah, I can do this. I can join teams, I can book calls, I can close. This is Elaine. Okay, Elaine had horrible English in the beginning. She's improved a lot since then, but her English was so horrible, and she had to set and close in English. Okay, step by step, milestone after milestone, long story short, in the end, during our time together, she crossed 50K USD commissions collected. 50K USD commissions collected. It didn't happen overnight. You can say in the beginning, it's just small amounts. Okay, but over our time together, it really snowballed. It really started to add up. And if she didn't cross those initial milestones, her lack of self-belief, her lack of understanding, this would not have happened. So I don't want you to look at this screenshot and say, oh, it's going to happen immediately. No, there is a process. We did a lot of deep, hard work, smart work on the back end, okay, to really own these results. This is Coley, 20+K collected during our time together. She wanted to migrate to another country, build a new life, and with this money, she was able to make it happen. And I hope you understand, okay, it happens in parts, it happens milestone after milestone, and you can see the process here, okay. This is her teaching me. Like I said earlier, once it gets to the point where I teach you first, I demonstrate, I train you, then you got to start teaching me. Because once you can do this and you can teach me, it tells me that you understand. It tells me that you can cook your own food. And that is what I want for you. Okay? So, this is how I review my students' work. Okay, and then I want to see you explain to me. I want to see you grow to become a self-sufficient closer. And I want to be fully transparent about my price and the investment. Okay, this investment for this program is 7K USD paid in full. 7K USD paid in full. If you are ready for this, just reach out and say, Sean, I've seen your complete closer program. I have some questions, okay, and then we can talk after. But if you are not ready for this, okay, take whatever time you need, do whatever you have to do, and then any questions, you can just send it to me. Okay, I do have another complete bundle, which is a bundle of all these programs, okay, but no coaching. All these programs, no coaching. You can get lifetime access to all the work that I've done, okay, for just $500. But if you want the whole thing, okay, you want the best thing. I've had a closer book a call with me before, you know, and then she was like, I don't want your free stuff. I don't want your $500 course. Sean, give me your best stuff. If that's what you want, this is what I have for you. Okay, so I hope I've done a perfect job walking you through my process, why it exists, who I've helped, and how does it work. So now you have the complete picture. Okay, any further questions, just reach out on social media. Say, hey Sean, I've seen your video and here are my questions. Okay, that's it from me. This is the complete closer methodology, the complete closer process, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.